So we're going to be beginning our Godheads series in human design. So this is going to be a year-long process done in 8 parts, and then we'll go over all 16 Godheads in this time. And I'm pretty excited because Godheads are one of those things that you don't really hear about much in human design, and then you see it mentioned and you don't know what it is and you don't know what it means, and it's kind of weird to find out what it's all about. So I thought this would be a fun way for us to dive into it.
And I'm glad we're breaking it up, Moni, because it's going to keep the suspense at the same time. It sort of allows it to breathe. It's a little bit of both. I mean, I'm in a little bit of suspense. You did the deep dive on this aspect of things, and so I'm learning as I go. This is great.
I feel like if you tried to handle all 16 at once, like you're just going to drift out after the first 2 or 3. So I figured this was a really fun way, as you said, to split it up and understand. It's ultimately all of it's symbolic, and it's understanding this symbolic expression.
Gotcha. Well, great. Let's dive right in.
Let's dive in. Yeah. So thank you to everyone who's watching live, who's watching on the replay. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing, doing all the fun stuff, because that keeps us going and, helps us build our little channel. So let's dive into it.
Yeah, let us grow. What are we up to? Close to 600 subscribers now.
Yeah, we're just short of 600.
Nice. Yeah.
Thank
you, everyone. Thank you deeply. Yeah.
Thank you. So here is our mandala wheel view of the 16 Godheads. And I just thought this image was so beautiful. So I was more than excited to include it into our presentation. So these are essentially 16 archetypal themes that are kind of representing and externalizing the energy of the I Ching trigrams that we talked about last week. So check out that video as well. And so for today, we're actually going to be starting here in the beginning of this quarter of civilization. The human design wheel is split up into 4 quarters. So we're going to be starting off this civilization one down here in the green. And we're going to be talking about the Godheads of Maya and Lakshmi.
Can I point something out here, Moni?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now this is just mechanical stuff, right? Remember, I'm following you into this. So this wheel, as I've been looking at, because I've looked at this picture many times, and what I notice and looking more deeply is the fact that most of the Godheads traverse pieces of 2, a large part and then a small part of 2 zodiac signs. And so this is and it's just not all of them. I noticed the vessels line up pretty good. But they always have. It's just that they still traverse more than one mostly, and it gives a different color to how I've always said to people, if you want to understand the zodiac sign a little differently and to add more flavor to it, it's to know the gates that are in there. And I'd always say 4 or 5 gates that are in there, because it's a little bit of both. It's 4 point something gates per Godhead, or is it 5?
Yeah, no, it's 4. It's 4 gates. Each of the 16 Godheads represent 4 gates. I'm sorry, for zodiac.
Yep. It's 4 point something per zodiac, and sometimes it's closer to 5, and sometimes it's just funny.
Yeah, it looks like 5, 6-ish for my general estimation on it.
Yep. So it's just interesting how this traverses and allows some mixing to still happen.
Yeah, I love just looking at human design through different lenses, because there's so much. Human design is never ending. Like you wanted something to study for a lifetime, you have human design. Look at the cosmology, look at the biological, look at the psychological. You can go every direction. And I'm really stoked about this. I'm really excited about this.
Cool.
So we went over this last week in great detail. So check out that video. I'm going to link it in the description and in the little corner box and all that. But just as a brief rundown, this diagram shows basically how we go from the base yin yang. So up top, we go from the base yin yang, the yin being feminine and magnetic, the yang being masculine and electric, and essentially how you duplicate the yin or the yang. So you double the yin, and then you add another yin and a yang. And on the yang side, you double the yang and then add another yin and yang. And you just keep duplicating and extrapolating outward. And so you go from the base yin yang to the base pair into the 8 trigrams down here.
Yeah, and it's this layer of the trigrams that give us all the Godhead.
Essentially,
this is where we get to 16, because if we just at the base pair, we're at 8. And if we're just at the 1, the yin and the yang, those are our quarters, essentially.
Yeah, so this is a cool diagram for what you're talking about. So with this, we're going from the yin yang. I love this view of the mandala, by the way. It's one of my favorite. I could look at it endlessly. So you go from the base yin yang into these base pairs, which that's going to be really fun to talk about as well. Then you keep extrapolating out, and then here you have the 8 trigrams. And then the next row out, you have the Godheads. And then you go in. Yeah. And then you have 5 lines, which I have not found any specific significance of the 5 lines. But then at the very outer end, then you have your full 6-line hexagrams.
Yeah, it's funny, each 5 line is still sifting down to get to the 1 on the outside. So it fits in like mathematically.
Yeah.
It traverses 2 gates each. Each one traverses 2 gates each. It's a constant fanning out. It's sort of how you get to infinity with this wheel.
Yeah, and so this is like the archetype for all of human expression. Like, it's just so cool. It's really neat how the 6 lines, which represent like the full 6 lines of the gate, it's like outside of the wheel, because the 6th line is like outside and it's already moving towards the next one, and it's kind of like outside looking over.
We wonder why aloofness is a 6-line theme. And Fool on the Hill and all this stuff that's sort of on the roof that separates the 6th line from everything else.
Yeah, like literally like distanced out. So for our purposes, the Godheads were looking at this 4th line out. So I tried to like shrink it down so it's a little bit easier to not get completely overwhelmed. And so what's really cool is the 4th line of the Godheads. These Godheads can be seen as like a 4th line externalization of the trigrams. So the 4th line, like think of like your friend who's got the 4th line, and they're the opportunist, and then they're networker, and they're here to externalize the message. The Godheads are basically figureheads, right? This is all symbolic. This isn't, you're not like worshiping these like deities or something. It's all like a symbolic way to look at it. But it's kind of neat because the 4th line, which each Godhead is 4 lines, basically externalizes one of the trigrams. So for our purposes, it's going to be Earth externalizing Maya and Lakshmi. And I just thought that was a really cool way to like understand. It's like they're figureheads. They're kind of like the spokesperson for each of the trigrams.
Yeah, and when you're going through all this and looking at this, it is part to take an esoteric, almost mythical view of this stuff as you incorporate. Don't ever lose track of the mechanics when you're reading a design, obviously. But when you come into what does more stuff mean as you sit and contemplate, this adds a ton of flavor. Every astrologer must have sat and contemplated forever on all kinds of cool things, right? And it's the same thing here. It's the same exact thing.
Yeah. So basically, we're going to keep like portioning these down into like smaller pieces of the pie. And so for this is the quarter of civilization. And what's interesting is that within the quarter of civilization, we're just about to start it, by the way, all the throat gates are activated within this quarter. So there's this pressure to manifest, and there's this verbal and acoustic articulation and expression. And this is about getting things done, building and making things. And the keynotes for the quarter of civilization are purpose fulfilled through form. And the mystical theme is from womb to room.
So this whole form of the Godhead itself is, as it adds all the people into civilization, and each quarter as we go around, all of them are going to come together to have a certain theme. And here we'll have 4 of them because there's 16 total. And so I can't wait to basically see how it all ends up playing out. 4th line externalization coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. And just for the sake of explaining this as well, so here we have our base yin yang, and then it goes into the base pair of Dubhe, which is a star, and we're going to go into that on the next slide. But just for the mechanical line understanding of this, you have Dubhe, which is the base pair, and then that splits off into earth and mountain by just adding another yin or a yang on top.
Yeah.
Isn't that neat?
Earth and mountain it is.
To understand this quarter of civilization, which is represented by that double yin line, it's Dubhe. And so Dubhe is alpha star of the Ursa major constellation, which is also known as the Great Bear. And it's the Big Dipper pointer star guiding to Polaris, which is the North Star. So on our little constellation here, the purple star is Dubhe. And so if you follow up from there, it'll point up to the North Star. And that's how you can actually always find the North Stars, by find the Big Dipper and then see where that line points up to. So that's the North Star. And this quarter of civilization is about taking the mental initiation sparked in the first quarter and turning it into something tangible. And this is about building, structuring, manifesting into the material world. This is where the realm of form, where purpose is fulfilled through physical expression, societal constructs, and refinement of resources. So Dubhe is the energetic overseer of the quarter of civilization and of that foundation. And this is where human potential meets the physical world. And in a symbolic, fun way to look at it, where the bear's steady strength is guiding humanity to navigate and shape the material plane and setting the stage for the relational and transformative quarters to follow.
So this whole setting of the stage for the transformation, each quarter does that for the upcoming quarter. And I guess mutation does it finally back for initiation again.
So now we're slicing it into an even smaller piece of the pie and into the Earth trigram. So the Godheads of Maya and Lakshmi are the fourth line externalization of the Earth trigram. And Earth makes inspiration manifest. It gives it form and sustains its growth.
This whole Earth that comes, this beginning trigram leading up to the third line, since it stays with civilization, it guarantees a type of building. And when you look through this, like you mentioned, all the throat gates are here. So everything about the Godheads here they're gonna ring of some kind of energetic building, putting together. I mean, you tell me, Moni, but I'm guessing that would have to be the case. This will be the overriding theme, a yin theme, nesting, taken care of, and coming off of the quarter of initiation means all stuff, not all, but so much stuff of what is mind and what mind has done, and the tumultuousness of mind. Think of how tumultuous initiation is. It's got 36, it's got 51, it's got format gates, it's got lots of stuff in there. So I can't wait to see how the names of the Godheads and what they are fall through in this fourth line externalization.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really fun way. And just to clarify again, so the Earth trigram is those three yin lines over here. And so if you duplicate them and then add another yin and another yang, that's where we get Maya and Lakshmi. And Maya and Lakshmi, again, these are figureheads. This is a symbolic way to look at them as kind of the spokespeople of the Earth trigram.
Right, exactly. So this is the very first expression of it. There'll be another one too, because there'll be 4 Godheads in this quarter, right?
So the next ones are going to go over mountain, will be our next trigram.
Exactly. Something that's really cool to point out to tie this into the genetics of this all. By now, everyone knows that the I Ching is a mathematical representation of our genome as well. So this is the energetic point. This is where these externalizations change. They keep changing. The voice and the manifesting of what would come out of here changes right in this section between 3 and 4. If you just look at where are the Godheads coming, the changing lines are in the 3rd and 4th. The trigram ends at 3, but the middle binary, when you're counting in 2s in genetics and here, becomes an energetic place. It's an energetic place. Things are getting cooked up in the 3rd line and then energetically talked about in the 4th line. This is a very strong place. It's a big part of how we do our determination, right? We're always breaking it down into those 3 different binaries. So I just find it interesting. The energetic place where this thing does its changing inside the trigram is between 3 and 4 in what's also the energetic binary. Sits above the base pair of our genome. So it's incredible. It's just how it all lines up.
Yeah. And it's neat how the 3rd lines, right? And the 3rd line, like again, your friend who's a 3rd line who always bumps into the material world, the 3rd line, all of these trigrams are something material. It's earth, it's mountain, it's thunder, it's water, it's these material things. And then the 4th line comes in next to like externalize it out into the world.
Into the world, yeah. Through us, by the way. We're the ones externalizing it. Right?
Yeah, if you have these gates, especially I would imagine like in your personality sun, then they'd be the most expressive. Then it's kind of playing through us. Here we have the goddess Maya. So this is yin over earth. So it's the yin externalization of earth. So Maya was known as the good goddess. and she was the goddess for the yin, and men were not even allowed in her temple. And Maya is also the origin word for the month of May. So she's a Roman goddess and the eldest sister of the Pleiades constellation. And in mythology, she was Zeus's lover and the mother of Hermes, Hermes being the one who shared the wisdom of the gods with the humans. And Ra speaks a lot about the importance of mothers educating children in the representation of Maya. And so Maya embodies receptivity, natural intelligence, and the effortless unfolding of truth in alignment with the present moment. And this governs the way we translate the unseen into form. And it's about the transition between the hidden and the revealed, and this gestation of knowledge before its manifestation. So Maya calls us to surrender to the wisdom of the present moment, to embody truth without distortion, and to let life's unfolding patterns reveal the path ahead.
It sounds like the description of the receptive, gate 2.
Yeah, that's represented right there. That's the first one.
Mm-hmm. That's the handle and the director of the direction.
Because gate 2 is going to be earth over earth, so it's going to be 6 yin lines. She represents gates 2, 23, 8, and 20.
I love this. I love this. It's not the knower, it's the explainer of the contribution, the direction in the now. It's not the knower of it. 43 is the knower of it, but 23 stopped off the throat. 23 is just the pure essence of being able to assimilate. I assimilate the direction and give this contribution to you right now, my child. And this is all straight out of love. Gate 20 begs for love. Gate 8 and 2, 8 points at the G center, the love of ourselves in a direction. 2 is that Zeus's handle. It is the not the gas pedal, but it's the actual seat of the driver that drives the direction. These are not esoteric terms, by the way. These are mechanics. If you have a gate 2, who will tell you in your life how the expression of your movement has been through gate 2. It'll show up and you'll see it. So that's how I would put these together, because she just wants, what does mother want to do in the time of civilization where we're building? Contribute. Let's assimilate what this is and contribute it. And it's fitting that there is no knower there, 43, because maybe they don't know yet. The knower comes later. That's so funny. The knower shows up in mutation right across the way, almost somewhere in there, I think. Yep.
Neat. Yeah, I thought this would be a fun way to talk about the mechanical aspect of it with these gates, the hexagram aspect of it with the here as the yin expression of earth, and then that symbolic mythological aspect of the godheads. I also like that springtime aspect of it as you're planting seeds, right? This earth over earth, springtime. She looks like this very springtime earth goddess kind of vibes.
All of these gates are individual right now. Nourish the individual, nourish my unique baby, nourish the unique seed, you nourish it all.
That was cool to observe. So here we have the goddess Lakshmi. So Lakshmi is the yang expression of earth. She's an Indian goddess of wealth, and she embodies prosperity and the dynamic force of cultivated abundance. This is about the richness of experience, the power of refinement, and the ability to manifest through devotion and discernment. Ra talks a lot about the material contribution to raising children and the need to invest in the future and the need for resources. He also talks about the rulers providing for subjects and how everyone needs to be producing resources because everyone's going to use the resources. So everyone's got to be producing more resources, right? And the tribe is all about resources. And this is the driving force of material life on the material plane. And so these gates, which are 16, 35, 45, and 12, are all about manifesting power. This is driving, initiating power. And so this teaches us the wisdom of refinement. And Lakshmi calls us to develop our gifts, trust in these cycles of expansion, and step into leadership with integrity, knowing that true richness is not just about material gain, but the artful expression of life's fullest potential.
Yeah, that sounds like the 9-centered version of what was once the 7-centered way, which was basically the opposite of what you just said, which I like about it. So we add a yang on top, and I'll have you notice it looks a little bit like those those arches you see in certain ways where you walk under the arch. It does nothing except you walk past it, and it's just a reminder of there's the step before, there's the moment in, and then there's the moment after. It gets to be a little delineating point to bring you into the now, to witness the before and after of that, which you can only see right now. And so this one here is quite material. So this is material mom. We had nurture mom. We had empower mom before. That's what we had. We had empowerment mom before. And now we have, which equals nurture mom. To empower your
Yeah.
unique children is to
Yep.
nurture them. And now we have material mom. These gates, I got to be enthusiastic about the things that we're going to fully experience. I'm hungry for it. We're going to bring it to completion. I want to feel full with the way I get identified with the stuff that we're going to repeat. And 45 is going to teach that. And 45 is also going to demand plenty of that. And 45 is going to make sure 21 make sure it happens. And it'll have plenty to say in gate 12. If it isn't, gate 12 will articulate. Both 45 and 12 are here to articulate that. 35 articulates an experience, and 16 articulates, its excitement, quite limited. 45 and 12, these two are almost like knights of the round table to each other, put in this particular way. 12 is no less than 45, or vice versa. 12 would be the knights themselves, and 45 would be the king. So the whole council of that which protects the material realm is here enthusiastically, and they're showing up for the experience inside a chick. That's great. We love it.
I love that the 3 manifesting throat gates are here.
Oh, yes, that's true.
Yeah.
The 3 manifesting ones. So this one, it has to be the material plane. It's only one way. Now, this particular configuration coming into humanity as an awake feature inside of us will bring the type of harmony that makes for an easier life. This is the high. I know how to make that easier life as long as we're all living in communion with one another. As soon as there's fighting and division, these things will disorganize and go to work on each other, against each other. So it's a lot of power here. This gives me a big clue as to, plenty of stuff that goes on in the world today. Now I think of it.
This is going to be in the next, couple weeks or whatever that we're switching into gate 2. So it's just a neat way to look at these. So it'd be May 3rd. May 3rd, we're shifting into the quarter of civilization. And this first will go into Maya, 4 gates, and then we'll go into Lakshmi. So this is, setting an externalized foundation of what's to come.
So this is proof that Maya is the foundation of these two things.
Maya's first, yeah.
Yes, and reasonably put, as far as our human experience goes, the foundation of it, because she's the one that does empower the actual refinement. Refinement is a 5th and 6th line expression, I believe, of gate 1's left angle cross. Gate 1 and gate 2, I'm pretty sure, are refinement when you get into that left angle cross, and it gives that refinement. So this side basically takes its 45 way and announces we have refinement, as if they invented it, but it was really empowered onto them. It's as if the very first part of this is the true empowerment bundle for the movement through this whole quarter and all the way around the wheel, if you choose that as a starting point. It's like the Energizer battery. It's all that individual definition. Interesting. Where this sets up civilization incredibly into a material path, doesn't it? It really does, and it comforts it in the lap of mother that empowers, the empowering mother. I mean, what a great, the empowering mother. I love it. Yeah, she doesn't have to be a manifestor to be the empowering mother. Let dad do that. Or dad mom. We got mom, and dad mom here in this particular picture. I don't know, something like that.
Well, yeah, because it's the Maya as the yin expression of the earth trigram, the earth trigram being fully feminine.
Yeah, right.
And then Lakshmi is the yang externalization of the feminine trigram of earth.
Of earth, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think this sets things up quite amazingly. So take this whole chunk of time, and any of you historians out there, take these 2 godheads, these chunks of time, and see where it is in the calendar. Go back in time and find out what important things were set up during that time of year back in the past. You'll find some amazing stuff.
Yeah, this is going to be starting in May.
So all the May starts for civilization. Just go back. We're going to find incredible things that were, I would say, the discovery began here. 16 is all about that discovery sooner or later, right? I know 46 is really that channel, but 16's excited for the discovery for sure. So
Perfect.